Hey you guys, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. My name is Kiara. Welcome back to my tribe. Alright you guys, so I just wanted to come talk to you real quick about some things that we face when we are traveling. I'm just gonna sit here under this tree really quick and get some sun. But a lot of people aren't talking about this, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of like discuss it. Sorry if my face is all greasy or whatever, but as a traveler, we have to deal with not only the facilities and the staff, which sometimes the staff, you know, they're welcoming to the help and sometimes they're not. But one thing that I find extremely frustrating is having to deal with these agencies. Now, you guys may or may not know this depending on like if you are in the medical field or not, but after the pandemic or during the pandemic, it was a shortage of medical professionals. So, you know, the pay went up and it was a lot, you know, it's a lot of pay, increase in pay for medical professionals, whether it's nurses, travel surgical assistants, surgical tech, travel nurses as well, or anybody that's in the medical field that has, that wants to travel. The pay increased for us. So even though it's 2 years later, the pay is still pretty high. What happened was we have a lot of agencies just pop up, right? Or even if they were staffing agencies prior, they may have been in a different industry. And now because they see that it's a lot of money in the medical field, they like kind of pivoted over to the medical field and started helping, or, you know, started staffing medical facilities with medical professionals. Now, a lot of these agencies aren't out here, and they're not out here with the best intentions for the travelers, and it's extremely frustrating, you guys. Like, I'm here with other travelers, and we all have to pay attention to our pay. We're all having to deal with our agencies and our recruiters and being told one thing, and when it come down to it, that's not the case. Or, you know, my recruiter quit a week into me starting this contract at this facility, so then they kind of passed me on to two other individuals, which, you know, it's like a hit and miss if they answer the phone. And then recently, the person, one of the people that I was communicating with, just didn't respond to my text, so I had to reach out to somebody else and explain the situation all over again. And it's just extremely frustrating. And so one of my coworkers, well, let me back up. I'll just speak for me for now, but my pay has been off multiple times. Now, they have fixed it. So if I say that I haven't been paid and I show them, you know, on my timesheet from the facility, like I work these hours, you know, then they go in there and fix it. But if I'm not paying attention to not only the hours that I work, my call, and then a callback pay that I get, and then they just kind of, you know, oh well, you didn't notice it, so you're just not going to get that money. I also was informed that I was going to be reimbursed for my ACLS, BLS, PALS certification course, because you have to have BLS if you're a surgical tech, and as a first assist, I have to have ACLS, BLS, and PALS. And so I have to pay for those courses. And then most agencies pay you, and the facility pay you to have those to take that class. And so this company that I'm with, they're saying that that's not what they normally do. But the recruiter who was with me, he said that they would reimburse me for it, and then I was also supposed to get like a completion bonus for this agency once I completed this contract. And I don't know if I'm going to get it at this point, because it was more like a verbal, it was a verbal communication, or a verbal agreement, I should say. And so now it's just becoming a hassle, because I'm having to talk to multiple people and explain to them over and over again, you know, what's going on. And it's extremely frustrating to just be, you know, to be honest with you. And so if you do decide to go travel, oh, let me just give you, like, so I was missing a whole day on one of my paychecks, and I had to wait to get that, and so they paid me. One of my coworkers, she's having to wait to get paid for her hours with her agency, which is a completely different agency. Also, when it comes down to getting sick with COVID, because you guys may or may not know, depending on if you've seen my other videos or not, but I had COVID and I contracted it from the hospital. And so I didn't get vaccinated, so at this particular facility, because I didn't get vaccinated, I have to get weekly COVID swab. I had to take weekly COVID tests, and so I took a COVID test on Thursday. My COVID test was negative. I flew into Florida on Friday. By the time I got to Florida, I was in full blown like body aches. I had fever and everything, and then on Sunday I tested positive for COVID. So my agency, they did end up paying me, but initially they told me that they wasn't gonna pay me no sick time. So not only I would have had to been working for them for 1,500 hours before I qualified for sick pay, but if I would have been in a state that didn't acknowledge COVID, it's like a COVID sick pay or sick leave or whatever, they wouldn't have gave it to me. And luckily I was smart enough to go look for the documentation for the state that I'm in, which I'm in New Mexico, and New Mexico governor recently in January released a new memorandum letting employers know, you know, what to do when you have an employee with COVID. Oh, it's a bird. It's a bird up there. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's like right there. It scared the crap out of me just now. But anyways, so I was able to submit that memorandum to my agency and let them know, you know, this is what this memorandum states for New Mexico employees, which I'm a New Mexico employee, even though I'm a contractor. So how contracts work is whatever state you in, even though that you're a contractor at the facility, you're still an employee of the agency. So I was entitled to up to 10 days of sick pay and sick leave based off of whatever my pay was. So they do like an average of however much you make, and then they pay you that for your sick pay. So my agency did pay me, but initially they wasn't going to. Had I not did the research, I wouldn't have got paid for it. And so I just want you guys to be mindful of that when you're out here with these agencies. For one, I'm gonna say at this point, go with a bigger agency. Sorry guys, I just got my nose swabbed, so it's all like weird. But yeah, go with a bigger agency. Because I have been traveling for so long, I was thinking that I would be okay with going with an agency that I wasn't familiar with. But my agency is a staffing agency. They just don't typically staff medical professionals. They staff other industries. And I don't know if that's like why they're just not on top of it as much as I'm used to with the other agencies, or if it's just because at this point I really don't have a recruiter. Like, I'm just kind of going from like the VP of client services and the VP of operations and back and forth between them two, and hopefully at some point, you know, I'll get whatever it is that the issue will get resolved between one of those two. But if you're thinking about going traveling, I just want you to be mindful of what's really going on out here. These agencies are just, they're out here to get money. You have to pay attention. They're gonna, I won't say nickel and dime you, but that's kind of what's happening here. And if you're not paying attention, they're gonna keep your pay because they get a commission off of you as well. So as much money as you're making, they're making money too. So maybe not the same amount, but they're still making money. So you got to be careful out here if you're thinking about traveling. But I just want to share it with you guys because I'm extremely frustrated with how not just my agency is working, but just being around other coworkers and other travelers and the experience that they're having. I don't want you guys to come out here and think that it's all peaches and cream. Yes, we are making money. Yes, we are having great experiences and stuff, but we having to deal with, like I say, more than one dynamic. We're dealing with the dynamic of the medical facility. We're dealing with the dynamic of working with employee or co-workers that may, you know, be a little bit not so happy that you're making as much money as you are. And we're having to deal with these agencies and recruiters that are, you know, you got recruiters that are not telling the truth about how much these contracts are. So they get all your information, they have you go through this whole process, and then kind of find out either the assignment isn't there, or the assignment is much less than what they're, you know, advertising it for. So just be careful. I would say make sure that you're gonna pick an agency that has a good reputation, and you might have to do a little bit of research, but don't go with these new companies. Don't go with a company that is not like well known. Go with like these bigger companies, and then I think you'll be in a better position because they will have already been in the game for a little bit longer than what these new companies are, and just ask questions, you know, maybe join some YouTube or Facebook groups. I'm not really into Facebook groups, but I do watch a lot of YouTube videos. So watch YouTube videos and get all the information you can before you just jump out here in these travel streets, because it's real out here, and it's extremely frustrating, especially when you're like thousands of miles away from home and you're having to, you know, pay I'm paying thousands of dollars in like housing expenses because I rent here and I'm renting back in Florida, and I'm trying to purchase my home in Florida. And so I'm spending a lot of money just on like monthly living expenses, but I'm making pretty good money too, so there's that. But I don't always want to have to sit down and go over my timesheet and all this stuff more than one time. Like once I submit my timesheet and I submit the time on whatever time clock that the agency has, I don't want to have to make sure that payroll knows what they're doing and my recruiter knows what they're doing, and I don't want to have to keep resubmitting stuff. Like, it's so frustrating, you guys. Like, I get so irritated with it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope this video was useful to you. I'm not trying to discourage anyone from going to travel. Traveling as a medical professional, I think you should totally go traveling as a medical professional, because for one, the money is out here. Is way more money in traveling than it is as in being a staff person. And you do get to deal with some cool, like you get some cool experiences and stuff, but it comes at a cost. So, you know, a cost for me is I'm thousands of miles away from home. I don't have any family here, and I'm having to deal with the agency. I'm having to deal with recruiters. I'm having to deal with the facility, and you know, the attitudes, or you know, of my coworkers. And so it can be a little bit overwhelming. And then too, let's talk about housing real quick. So when I came here, I didn't have anywhere to stay, and I'm paying like $2,000. The house that I'm staying in now is totally worth the amount of money because it's secluded. It's not in a city. It's kind of on like a mini farm. You know, it's nice. It's a 2-bedroom. It's really cute. And so I like this place, but I paid like $2,000 for a casita. And a casita is like a studio apartment, and it was attached to 2 other apartments. And you could hear everything. I was in a noisier area, and so a lot of people know a lot of people know that they have travel nurses here, and so, you know, they're gonna make money off of it. So I just want you guys to be careful about that when you out here in these streets and you're thinking about that this is something that you want to do. I would totally say do it, but just be prepared for, you know, things to happen, and just kind of try not to get too frustrated with it. But you know, it's hard after you've been dealing with stuff for like 3 months at this point. You know, I'm just over it, and I'm just kind of like, you know. But anyways, you guys, that's all I got for in this video. This sun, even though I'm very grateful for it, is really beaming down on me. So I'm gonna go back in this air conditioning, but I wanted to make this video in this really nice little area. How cute is it? We got a little waterfall over there. Actually, it's like a little water bath. And so I'm gonna go ahead and go back. I just want to share that with you guys. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.